Hey, what's up everyone? Today I want to do a quick Q&A video about Street Candy. It's true that I haven't been communicating much about my film here on the channel, basically because I never really found the good opportunity and time to do so. But yesterday I posted something that triggered a lot of reaction, so I thought it would be a good time to tell you more about Street Candy and then answer all the questions you had. So basically what happened is that yesterday I received the samples of a new packaging we've been working on. This packaging is meant to replace the plastic canisters that we use to pack our film. This one is made of 100% recycled paper, and the idea of course is to reduce the plastic waste that we create for every roll of film that we shoot, because I believe there are ways to store film differently than it has been done until now. But anyway, I made a post on Instagram and on Facebook asking you your feedback and if you had any worries or concerns about such packaging. And honestly, I never thought I would get such a reaction. It's been like overwhelming. I've done my best to reply to everyone, but then the comments kept coming up and coming. So yeah, I had to stop at some point. I still have a baby to take care of. So I thought I would do this video to try to answer all the questions at once. So just before we move on, I want to tell you this packaging is not available to buy yet. Lots of you were asking me where can I buy it, when I can buy it, when I can find it. This is just a sample I got before we start the full production, because I'm going to make a big order of those boxes. And before pulling the trigger, I thought I would ask your feedback and your opinion, because in the end, it's you who's going to shoot it, and so that's what matters. So in this video, I'm going to talk about a few things about the packaging. We're going to talk about the durability, the environment impact. We're also going to talk about price, because that's a big concern. And last, I'll give you an update on the future of Street Candy. So let's get started, because we have a few things to talk about. So about the packaging itself, it's made of 100% recycled paper. It's printed with soy ink and is 100% reusable, of course, but also recyclable. My supplier was even mentioning that it can be compostable if some of you are doing that at home. The biggest concern I got is because it's made of paper, what is about the durability? Is it airtight? Is it waterproof, humidity proof, all of that. I know that lots of you like to store their film in the fridge or in the freezer to extend their lifespan. And I understand that, and I'm doing the same, but only for my slide films. Even my color film, I don't put them in the fridge because I shoot them fast enough to don't keep them for too long, except sometimes I have bad surprises. It can happen when I forget a roll in my bag. But anyway, for black and white film, the emulsion is not as fragile that it would be with a color or slide film. So in my opinion, it's not an issue if you don't store this film in the fridge. If you really want to keep it cool, my best idea would be to use one of the empty plastic canisters that you have and put them in the fridge. Or you can also place them in a Ziploc bag, which should be enough to protect them from humidity that may be in your fridge. I know that if film manufacturers are making those boxes light-proof, airtight and waterproof, it's for a reason. It's because film is fragile and needs to be protected. But again, if you are going to shoot the film fast enough and not going to store it for ages, there's no reason why the film would be damaged or suffer from the conditions around you or your environment, unless you are living in a very humid environment, maybe in the tropics like you. In this case, I would again suggest to put in the fridge in a Ziploc bag or just in a Ziploc bag itself. You can also use one of those tiny bags that we find, in clothes or whatever, to absorb humidity. That's what I use for my cameras, but it can also work for film. But I think time has come to change our habits, and if we really need a storage, waterproof or humidity-proof storage, again, I would suggest to use something that we can reuse, not those plastic boxes that are going to end up eventually in the trash and not found another use. Another concern that you raised is hope it doesn't fall apart or something. Reliableness is the most important. Now, I know these are made of recycled paper, but you can tell from here, but they are really tight. I'm pressing quite hard here. Well, here it's not going to fall, but it's really hard. It's really thick carton. And there is no reason that it would fall apart unless you wet it. But in my opinion, when you go out and shoot, your camera is safe, is in a bag, or somewhere safe, away from humidity, from sand, from water, for all those calamities that can ruin our cameras. And when I go shoot, my film is most of the time in this very same camera bag with my gear, so it's safe. I don't see any reason why would anyone put their film in a wet bag or whatever. So I don't think that's really an issue if this is made of paper. Again, if you are going out to shoot, you want to protect your gear, or at least a minimum. You're not going to be opening your bag under the rain. If that's the case, and if you're like an adventurous photographer who like to get wet and muddy, the best way would be again to reuse one of the plastic canisters that you have if you are really afraid for the film to be damaged. Another point I want to talk about is the environment impact of those films and how they are made. Some of you ask if the paper and the soil are responsibly sourced. While I don't have the exact answer and I cannot give you a definite yes, it is, I've been choosing a supplier that is dedicated to work with recycled materials. What they do, these guys, they only do tubes like this in all sizes, all diameters. They just do tubes made of recycled paper. So I'm assuming they've, since they are specialized in this field, they found a way to make this film as sustainable as possible. You can see on their page that they work with many famous companies, way famous than us. And I'm assuming these guys also have similar concerns, so they probably brought that onto them. But anyway, I'm gonna ask them if they can provide me more information and traceability over the sourcing of their materials, and I'll definitely give an update probably in the article that I'll link below, so you can have more information whenever they become available. Then another big concern that came up was the price. Will there be a price increase because of the new packaging? And the short answer is no. At the moment, I'm trying to keep the price same as when I started with Street Candy 2 years ago. We haven't been increasing the price, even though we had increases from our supplier. We've been able to absorb the price difference until now. Now, I believe that I'm willing to earn a bit less money if our company can go a bit more green, and I don't mind losing a bit of money, but it's not such a big difference, even if those packages are a lot more expensive but I prefer to pay a little more on my hand, and I'm trying to not bring that cost onto you guys, so our film can stay as affordable as possible for everyone. Now, in the future, I cannot say yes or no. The situation now with the coronavirus is a bit changing the landscape everywhere, so we don't know what tomorrow is going to be made of, and there may be some increases from different from suppliers around the world. We don't know, but anyway, I'm going to try for as long as I can to keep the cost low, but there may be a price increase in the future, but that's not on the table right now. Now the fun, future plans for Street Candy. And the question I got the most since I started, probably since day one, is will there be Street Candy in medium format in 120? And that's definitely on the table. We are working on it. I cannot say if it's gonna happen now or this year. Again, things are changing quite fast right now. We don't know where we're gonna be tomorrow, but we are working on it. That's one of the biggest challenge for us, because this is gonna involve a completely different process than what we are doing with the 35mm. This time we're gonna have to place a huge order. Hopefully the demand will be there, because it's gonna be a lot of money investing on my hand. But anyway, yeah, definitely a yes for Street Candy coming on 120. I cannot announce when or where, but yeah, we're working on this. And another question I got is, are you working on a color film? So to give you a bit of history, before I started with Street Candy, I had in mind to create a film a bit like the lomography turquoise or purple. My idea was to have colors similar to the branding of On Film Only. So I wanted to have highlight in pink and the shadows blue. Then I quickly asked around what it would make to make such a film, and I quickly realized that it was way out of my reach and the resource I could have. So this has been it stayed in a corner of my head, so maybe I'll be able to do that one day, but no, right now no plans for color film unless I find unless I get my hands on a batch of unused color film that I may be respooling, but right now no plans for that. Another one was, are you planning for a new black and white film, maybe 200 ISO or 100 ISO? And yes, I would like to bring maybe a slower film, maybe 100 ISO. The problem I have is I want to find an emulsion that is not sold anywhere. At the moment with Street Candy, it's an emulsion that you cannot find from any other supplier. We are the only one making it available for 35mm, and you cannot find it anywhere else. The thing is, I could be selling like Kodak XX or other film maybe from Orwo. I think they are also Polish filmmaker, but I don't want to give you a film that you can already find somewhere else. I don't see the point, in my opinion. I want to try to bring something new. Unless I can find a film that has something new to bring, no, I won't be able to make a new film anytime soon. But oh yeah, it's always in the corner of my head if I can get, and always searching for it. And if something happens, yeah, I'll definitely bring a new film out. So another question I got from my good friend Joka from Waste Level Viewfinder is, what made you start with Street Candy? It all started maybe like a challenge to myself and a kind of a joke, because at first I bought 500 rolls of Street Candy, which sold fairly quickly, but I never thought that I would be reordering and more and more and more. I never considered that at first. For me, it was really like to see if I would be capable of doing something new, getting out of my comfort zone and learning something new. Because Street Candy taught me a lot. It taught me about running a business, about talking with suppliers, talking with clients. It taught me about graphic design, about marketing. It taught me a lot. And now I cannot say that I'm living off Street Candy, but I'm making a decent income of it, and thanks to you guys. You guys are amazing for that, for shooting our film, because it's helping me to work on new projects and also trying to bring new stuff to the market, like this small packaging. So thanks for your support, guys. It's awesome. I really appreciate it. And I think the last question we have for today is from a friend from Netherlands, Bas, Alles goed, Bas? So he was asking about, is it possible to push Street Candy and how does it look? Now, I'm gonna be honest about that. Street Candy is not really meant to be pushed. It's meant to be shot in daylight at 400 ISO or 320 ISO under tungsten light. But you can push it a little, maybe one stop to 800 and still get acceptable result. But from the test I've been doing, when pushed two stop at 1600 ISO, you get very thin negative. There is very little left on the emulsion, so you get very dark shadows, very little details, and high contrast. And honestly, it doesn't look so good. Now, from this first test I ran quite a long time ago, I never really repeat the experience. But if some of you have tried and found a good combination of developer, I would love to hear about. Please let me know, because there may be other ways to develop Street Candy that I haven't found yet when it's pushed. So if you did that, I'd love to hear about and see your samples maybe. Anyway, I think that's about it for me. I've talked about all the points that I noted, but if you still have questions or concerns, please let me know in the comment. I'll do my best to answer all of them. And I would like just to thank you one more time for supporting Street Candy. It's an amazing adventure. I never thought I would be continuing this project until now. It's been 2 years now, and yeah, it's just amazing. So thank you guys, really, from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate it, and I hope this adventure continues for many more years. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.